Pacific Aerospace as a system. Education and talent, the human capital industry. Aerospace and new space are ultimately human capital intensive industries. That is why Sarawak has placed education and talent development at the center of our aerospace strategy. We have established the Faculty of Aerospace Engineering at APACE University College and implemented the free tertiary education scheme FTES to widen access to high-value disciplines. We also embark on 3 new programs in aircraft maintenance, repair and overhaul (MRO), specializing in airframe and avionics. These programs are designed to meet real industry demand, covering aircraft operations and safety, maintenance, repair and certification, and advanced avionics and digital aircraft systems. The Sarawak Talent Development Policy and Blueprint represent a strategic and long-term commitment to building a technically skilled, agile, innovative, and future-ready workforce to support Sarawak's economic transformation. While nurturing talent remains essential, we recognize that it is equally important to strengthen talent retention by creating clear career pathways, strong industry linkages, and a conducive ecosystem where our people can grow and thrive in Sarawak. Initiatives such as APACE play a critical role in translating policy into action by aligning education and training with industry needs, enhancing employability, and ensuring that our talent development efforts deliver real impact for sustainable growth and long-term prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, our objective is clear. We want to prepare our kids not only to work in aerospace, but to own capability and expertise. From Tibet to research and also to commercialization, Sarawak Aerospace Talent Pipeline is envisioned as a seamless, continuous journey. Beginning with technical and vocational education and training Tibet, elevate it through advanced engineering and system capability, deepens it with research and innovation, and ultimately empowers it through commercialization. Through this journey, ideas are transformed into industries, talent into capability, and Sarawakian expertise into a force that helps shape the future of aerospace for the region and beyond. This approach ensures aerospace education creates economic value, not merely academic output. Ladies and gentlemen, international and ASEAN collaboration, aerospace is inherently collaborates with leading institutions including Tsinghua University, Istanbul Technical University, Middle East Technical University, and of course, global industry partners. These collaborations ensure alignment with global standards, joint research, curriculum development, and mobility of students and professionals. At the same time, Sarawak actively engages ASEAN partners such as Brunei, Thailand, and Singapore to build regional interoperability and shared competitiveness. ASEAN's strength lies not in acting alone, but in working together. Ladies and gentlemen, aviation is the visible front of the aerospace economy. With Air Borneo one now in operation, Sarawak strengthened regional connectivity across Borneo and ASEAN. God willing, after July, we'll be having our jet operation. The development of the Tanjung Ambang Airport, together with existing airports, enables an integrated aerospace ecosystem covering smart digital airports, flight operations, advanced manufacturing, and maintenance, repair, and overhaul (MRO) capability. Airlines and airports are not endpoints. They are platforms for aerospace industry growth. Ladies and gentlemen, maintenance, repair, and overhaul (MRO) is one of the most credible entry points into the aerospace value chain. It creates high-skilled jobs, enforces safety culture, anchors technical expertise, and attracts supporting industries. Sarawak positioned MRO alongside avionics, advanced materials, digital maintenance system, and data-driven safety and asset management. This creates a realistic and investable aerospace industry base. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to share with you space economy, Sarawak's perspective. The industrial sector has undergone constant changes since the 18th century, fueled by significant new discoveries and inventions, starting from steam engines to assembly lines and electricity for mass production to electronic and computer-aided automation. These are developments that triggered the advent of the first three industrial revolutions. Today, industries are dependent on the super transmission of data and the use thereof to provide solutions which are often disruptive, that are profoundly impacting the fourth revolution we are currently experiencing. The data superhighway has moved from land-based to the realm of space for several years already, with the capability to provide instantaneous, global, and reliable connectivity, bridging geographical gaps that Earth-based infrastructure like fiber optics cannot provide. Sarawak's approach to space is practical and mission-driven, with focus on satellite technology, data utilization, and downstream applications that support forests and asset management, agriculture, disaster preparedness, and maritime monitoring, while delivering tangible benefits for our people. To execute this effectively, we are strategically evaluating the full spectrum of space technologies, including the practical deployment of small satellite systems, notably the CubeSat platform. Understand there is a slide with this. That is becoming a trending category of spacecraft. CubeSats have the advantage of being less expensive. Scientists say the cost of a traditional satellite ranges from 100 to 300 million euros compared to a CubeSat, which costs less than 500,000 euros. I think the figure is there. In addition, a conventional satellite requires between 5 and 15 years to develop and deploy, while CubeSat might need less than a year to build and out in low orbit. In the past, only rich nations and corporations could afford satellites, with projects taking 10 years or more to materialize. CubeSat provides the disruptive change where bigger systems demand massive investment compared to nanosats, which include CubeSat, that can be built in months and launched at a much lower cost, thus reducing the financial risk. Low Earth orbit satellite, which include CubeSat, operates 160 to 2,000 kilometers, roughly about 100 to 1,200 miles above Earth, offering low latency, high bandwidth communication, Earth observation, and navigation. These satellites orbit rapidly, about 7.8 kilometers per second, completing a circle in 90 to 120 minutes, often deployed in large interconnected constellations to ensure continuous global coverage. Actually, we have already put this capability to work. Sarawak has already begun using satellite data to support forest and natural resources management, agriculture and land use planning, disaster preparedness, maritime and coastal monitoring. The way forward for Sarawak is for us to expand research in satellite system, ground operations, data analytics, and AI-driven interpretation that can provide automatic and continuous insights from space. It means building the ground stations, and fostering the startup to turn the stream of data into actionable intelligence for our farmers, our foresters, and our first responders. For Sarawak, this is a strategic imperative. Our unique geography, our rainforests, rivers, and long coastline is not just a challenge to monitor. It is our greatest living laboratory. It is where we will test, validate, and perfect the next generation of space-enabled solutions. It is a deliberate and disciplined path aligned with the encouraging government regulation and global industrial trends that are fueling this sector. The largest demand for CubeSat services is anticipated to come from telecommunications sector, which has mostly migrated from ground to space-based operations. This has become a crucial part of the global infrastructure for communications, commercial and government data transfer and applications. In addition, environmental and scientific research and methodology are becoming more dependent on data from satellite services. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not chasing prestige. We are building lasting capability. We are preparing Sarawakians not just to use these technologies, but to design, build, and to derive prosperity from them. In doing so, we are building our capability to secure our own future and contribute meaningfully to a collaborative and competitive aerospace future for all in ASEAN. By building our capability in this high-growth industry, we position Sarawak not merely as a participant, but as a capable partner in shaping the orbital infrastructure of tomorrow. Aerospace and new space require more than infrastructure. They require a science and engineering culture. To that end, Sarawak is building the Sarawak Science Center and developing Borneo Astronomy Center in Santubong. This institution inspires curiosity, strengthens STEM literacy, and encourages young Sarawakians to pursue careers in science, engineering, and technology, including aerospace engineering. I believe the facility would ensure aerospace and new space visible and achievable for young Sarawakians. I hope I'm still young. Ladies and gentlemen, aerospace and new space development must be responsible. Sarawak is investing in climate and environmental research, conservation and carbon management, low carbon technology and mobility, renewable and green energy, including hydrogen. Aerospace, aviation, and space system contribute directly to emission reduction, climate monitoring, and sustainable mobility. Thus, economic growth and environmental stewardship must advance hand in hand. Sarawak is positioning itself as an aerospace and new space education hub, a capability-driven aviation hub, and as a contributor to ASEAN aerospace future. ASEAN has scaled young talent and shared ambition. By working together, ASEAN in the Pacific can emerge as a globally competitive aerospace and new space region. Sarawak is preparing for the future of aerospace and new space. By preparation alone is not enough. We must build capability now. We must inspire talent now. And we must collaborate now. To our partners, industry, universities, investors, and ASEAN colleagues, we invite you to build with Sarawak, to invest in capability, to develop talent, and to shape the aerospace and new space economy of this region together. Sarawak is always ready to move forward. Thank you, and I wish all the leaders a fruitful 2026 meaningful discussion. Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much, and we now invite our guest of honor to please remain on stage for the symbolic launch of APACE 2026, and also to invite our distinguished guests in the front row to please come and join us on stage, inshallah, in just moments from now, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest of honor and the distinguished guests to be ready to board. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, for today's launch, the Right Honorable Premier of Sarawak is going to perform a symbolic act that represents our collective aspirations and the promise of new horizons. Alright, as we prepare to take on with a simple push of the airplane throttle, the Right Honorable Premier of Sarawak, whenever you're ready, alright, thumbs up, inshallah. So let's power up and roll in 3, 2, 1.
Flight 44, ready for departure.
A big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen, the inaugural Asia-Pacific Aerospace Conference and Exhibition 2026 is now officially launched. APACE 2026 serves as a catalyst for meaningful partnerships and long-term impact across the aerospace and aviation value chain. Alright, now, ladies and gentlemen, we shall proceed with the MOU exchange ceremony in conjunction with the inaugural Asia-Pacific Aerospace Conference and Exhibition 2026 to be witnessed by the Right Honorable Premier of Sarawak. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the first MOU is between the Ministry of Education, Innovation and Talent Development Sarawak and Social Security Organization Percaso. So first, please welcome our representatives on stage to disilakan. Yang berbahagia Datuk Haji Adana bin Haji Jack, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Innovation and Talent Development Sarawak. And yang berbahagia Datuk Haji Asri bin Abdul Rahman, Head of Development, Head of Employment Insurance System Office of Percaso Malaysia. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, this MOU establishes a strategic partnership between the Ministry of Education, Innovation and Talent Development Sarawak and Social Security Organization Percaso to bolster Sarawak's talent ecosystem. Executed in January 2026, The collaboration focuses on strengthening graduate employability and expanding access to social protection through My Future Jobs portal. Tanya, terima kasih. Ladies and gentlemen, next MOU is between APACE University College, Sarawak Security and Enforcement Unit UKPS, and Turkish Aerospace Malaysia, TUSAS. Please welcome on stage our representatives from APACE University College, Yang Berbahagia Professor Emeritus Doctor of Technologist Dr. Muhammad Kadim Suhaili, the Vice Chancellor of APACE, from Sarawak Security and Enforcement Unit UKPS, Yang Bersama Tuan Haji Abdul Wahab bin Haji Rahim, the Director of UKPS, and also we have from Turkish Aerospace Malaysia TUSAS, Mr. Muhammad Shahiman Sulaiman, the Chief Executive Officer of TUSAS. So here they are, ladies and gentlemen, witnessed by the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak. This collaboration brings together Sarawak Security and Enforcement Unit UKPS, TUSAS and APACE University College to support research and development in next generation aerospace technologies. Tahniah kita ucapkan. Terima kasih UKPS dan TUSAS. Alright, moving on to our next MOU exchange. That will be between APACE University College and H2 Energy Sdn Bhd. And now please join us on stage from H2 Energy Sdn Bhd, the Director, Yang Bersama Mr. Abdul Syukur bin Hassan, to please exchange the MOU document to be witnessed by the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak. Sarawak's hydrogen strategy has progressed from energy production to high-value downstream application. Well, this collaboration, ladies and gentlemen, advances this agenda into clean aviation, logistics and disaster resilience, positioning Sarawak as a regional leader in hydrogen-enabled aerospace solutions. Tahniah kita ucapkan, congratulations to APACE University College and H2 Energy Sdn Bhd. Thank you very much. Moving on next, the MOU between Sarawak Skills and Prima Tech Solutions Sdn Bhd. May we now invite on stage our representatives, Yang Bersama Mr. Halman Sabri, the Executive Director of Sarawak Skills, and Yang Bersama Mr. Alan Anak Pita Diman, the Chief Executive Officer of Prima Tech Solutions Sdn Bhd. So here they are, ladies and gentlemen, the MOU between Sarawak Skills and Prima Tech Solutions seeks to establish collaboration in delivering upskilling programs and customized aviation courses by integrating technical expertise with training facilities and support. And next MOU is between Sarawak Skills and Borneo Aerospace Sdn Bhd. Please join us on stage from Borneo Aerospace Sdn Bhd, the Managing Director, Mr. Daniel C.S. Boone, please. Ladies and gentlemen, on this collaboration is to promote and deliver training in advanced and urban air mobility and autonomous aerial technologies, with providing technical expertise, equipment and diagnostic tools. And this collaboration will support the future establishment of a training facility, learning hub in Sarawak focused on low altitude aviation and UAV operations. Congratulations. And moving on next, MOU between Sarawak Information Systems, Sdn Bhd Science, and Earth Space Technologies Private Limited. Please join us on stage, Mr. Busiai bin Saman, the Chief Executive Officer of Science, and Mr. Daniel Kozin Zhou, the Senior Sales Executive, Earth Space Technologies Private Limited. Please. Ladies and gentlemen, this MOU marks a strategic collaboration between Science and Earth Space Technologies to strengthen Sarawak's capabilities in space-based remote sensing and Earth observation intelligence. And through this collaboration, ladies and gentlemen, science will advance its role in delivering high-value remote sensing solutions with particular focus on synthetic aperture radar and optical satellite imagery, processing, analytics, and data extraction. Very interesting. Congratulations. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, let's have the MOU between Center for Technology Excellence Sarawak, CENTEX, Tsinghua University, and Asia Pacific Professional Development, Sindh Berhad. We invite now on stage our representatives from CENTEX is the CEO, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Haji Syed Muhammad Hussein Wan Abdul Rahman, Mr. Alvin Leong, the Managing Director of Asia Pacific Professional Development, and Professor Wang Bing, the Business Manager of the Research and Promotion Department of Tsinghua University, please. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the MOU establishes a collaboration between CENTEX, Tsinghua University, and Asia Pacific Professional Development, encompassing training programs, research and testbed initiatives across 4 key areas, namely artificial intelligence, robotics, green mining and quarrying, and launch vehicle aerospace design, assembly, and launch. A big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. The MOU exchange ceremony witnessed by the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak in conjunction the inaugural APACE 2026. Thank you very much, gentlemen, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on next. That is the memento presentation to our guest of honor. To present the memento, we now invite Yang Berbahagia, the Advisor of Borneo Business Connect, to present the appreciation plaque. A very special one indeed, dedicated to the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak. A big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Shukr Alhamdulillah. And that concludes the launching ceremony. An incredible journey we have had at APACE 2026. As we come to a close, as we conclude, once again on behalf of the organizer and the supporting partners, once again we would like to express our sincere gratitude to the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak for gracing us with his presence today. And your support and vision have inspired us all. So another big round of applause, please, for the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to invite the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak to please join us for a brief visit to explore the innovative projects and exciting initiatives we have on display in conjunction